and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to be reading for an hour every day for a week. The reason we are doing this video is because I have 2 books that I've been avoiding reading like the plague. And they're on my 25 for 2025. I really would like to get to them. I've been super interested in both of the books. I just have been avoiding reading them for whatever reason. So we're going to read an hour every day. I'm going to make myself read for an hour every day for each of these books. I'm probably setting up these books poorly, but it's fine. All right, first we're going to pick up Scepter of Fire by C.F.E. Black. I am currently about a third of the way through this book. I started it last August, right before I got into a reading slump. So that's why this book's been avoided. I got a good chunk of the way through. I just wasn't feeling the characters. I've tried to pick it up a couple times since, but then I tried restarting the book and I was like, well, I already know this stuff. And I also tried just starting from where I was at and had struggled to find where I was at. Anyway, so that's this book. This is the 3rd book in the Scepter and Crown series, and I've really enjoyed the whole series. So I really am excited to finish this book and to see what I think. And then the other one is One Italian Summer by Rebecca Searle. My sister-in-law recommended this book to me 2 or 3 years ago, and anyway, she recommended it to me at the end of August. I think it was last year. I don't remember, whatever. At the end of August, so I was like, no, I'm gonna wait till the summer, and then just haven't gotten around to it. But summer's almost over. I mean, summer is over officially today. It is the 22nd of September. But I did read this already. I mean, I'm filming this after the video, so we did complete this in summer. It's still ridiculously hot and sunny outside. So with all that being said, these are 2 books we're going to read in today's video, and I'm going to pass you to past Scotland, who's going to start Scepter of Fire. All right, good morning. It is 8 o'clock on the dot, and we are going to start reading Scepter of Fire by C.F.E. Black. We are currently, excuse me, honestly not really awake yet. We are currently on page 72. So I should be around 172 when we get done. I can read about 100 pages an hour. So I will see you at 9 o'clock. It's now 9 o'clock. I made it to page 140, which is a little bit less than I thought I would make it. I am struggling to read this book. I started it a year ago, right after I'd read the other books in the series, and was really into it, but I was reading it as I was entering a reading slump. I had a terrible reading slump last year. That was from August to the end of November, and could not read anything. Tried reading this during that time. Anyway, so I'm trying to make myself pick it up now. I'm still not really feeling in the mood because I already started reading it. I had a hard time finding where I was at. I'm having a hard time getting back into the story, but I really love this author's writing style, and I've loved the rest of the series. I've loved the story, love what's going on. I'm really trying to do my best to get into it, which is why we're reading it for this. We'll read an hour tomorrow and see how far we get. I'm really hoping to at least finish this book and hopefully finish one more, but we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow morning. All right, hello party people. I have been avoiding this all day. I'm having such a hard time getting into this book, and I feel terrible for it because it's not the book's fault. It's my fault for starting it during a reading slump, getting a good chunk in, giving up, coming back a year later trying to read it. Also, picked it up at a terrible time because I'm also currently reading Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I just finished Throne of Glass a couple days ago, and I'm just a little ways into Crown of Midnights, but this is what I want to read right now. It is just about 8 o'clock right now. I can read Crown of Midnights until my husband comes to bed, which is probably at 10:30 or 11, as long as I read an hour of this first. So we're gonna sit here. I got my little ambiance on, and we are gonna read for an hour. I'm literally gonna set a timer, and then I am going to put it away and read Crown of Midnights. Let's get into Scepter of Fire. All right, I read for an hour, kind of. I read so slowly. Oh my goodness. It's fine. I made it to page 200, thank goodness. I'm struggling so hard to get into it. It's just a mental block. I love the idea of, I don't think I've mentioned this in this video, but the magic system in this book is truth and lies. They get their magic from truth. and the magic is like weakened by lies. I was so excited to read Crown of Midnight. I'm actually just gonna go to sleep. But I really am enjoying this book. It's just really feeling like a forced activity right now, because it is, because I'm forcing myself to finish it because I need it finished. So I'm a little over halfway through now. I bet we'll finish it tomorrow. I'm gonna read for an hour tomorrow, and then if I don't finish it, I'm just gonna keep reading and finish it because I'm done with it. Anyway, I will see you tomorrow. Hello, party people. Ended up not having to work today, and so I decided we were gonna come to the library to read today. So for our hour of Scepter and Fire today, we're gonna be reading inside. I'm checking in with you here because I don't really like recording in the library. I always felt awkward. So I'm currently on page 200 out of 327. I might just try to finish this book today. I'll read the hour and I'll check in and let you know where we're at. And then I think I'm just going to finish it because I really would like it done, because I have so many other books I'm super excited to read right now. Also, I post a lot on my channel about like, just DNF the book, just DNF the book. The problem is I'm loving this book. I really am enjoying it. I just I'm just not in the mood for it. And I cannot get myself to read it. So we're going to push through this book. But my advice still stands. DNF the book if you don't like it. But I'm liking this one. For whatever reason. Okay. Anyway, I will check in an hour when I'm done reading. Welcome to day 4 of reading an hour every day. I am very impressed with myself because usually I'll record the first day and then forget after that. So we made it to day 4. I did end up finishing Scepter of Fire yesterday. I ended up rating it 3.25 stars. I feel bad because I do feel like it's mostly just a product of the time that I read it. I think it's a mood reading problem. But my review on Fable, my biggest problem with it is only that a lot happens in the last book. And in that book, a lot happens the last, 50%. And honestly, this is how I said it in my review, is I wish that this book was, 500 pages longer. Or another book completely. Because there were so many things that I wanted to know more about. I wish we understood more. That just felt very, rushed through. So, 3.25 stars. Still not a bad read. Still fun read. I'm glad that I read. I'm glad I read the series. I just wish there was a little bit more there. But also part of that is probably from reading it during a reading slump. So, we are going to read One Italian Summer by Rebecca Searle. This book has 250 pages, just about. So I'm really hoping to finish this book in the 2 hours that I read today. 1 hour read today, 1 hour read tomorrow. I'm not sure that it'll quite get finished in that time. If it doesn't, I will finish it tomorrow and then give you guys my review, even if it doesn't happen within the hour that I read tomorrow. So we can have 2 completed books in this vlog. But anyway, I don't think it'll take me nearly as long because it's not a fantasy book. And I was really struggling to get through that other book. I'm super excited for this one. I just haven't found the right time to read it. I wanted to read it during the summer, and then I just found so many other reads. I didn't read, at all in the month of July. I went through a terrible reading slump again in July, and I think I finished 1 book. My Fable says 2. It says that I also finished Sunrise on the Reaping, but I'm pretty sure I finished that at the end of June. Either way, 2 books in July. Anyway. August, then I just found a bunch of books I wanted to read. And here we are. It is September 18th. And so it is really not summer anymore, but we are reading it. I am determined to read this book this year. So we're going to get into it. It is currently 9:17. I am going to set the phone down and stop yapping and read, and we'll see how far we get today. All right, it is 10:17 and I made it to page 98. I am really enjoying this book so far. It is very, sorry. This book is very nostalgic. I need a way to describe it. And very warm. Like, it's very, I feel warm while reading it. It feels like a warm hug, even though terrible things have happened to this girl and she's going through so much grief. Like, it really feels just warm is the best way I can describe it. Another thing I love about this book that as Katie is going through like the waves of grief, the syntax of the sentence is changing as well. And I am very impressed by the writing of this. At the beginning of the story, the syntax as a sentence was very, very short and choppy and factual, just stating what's going on. And then she starts experiencing some joy again. Her grief gets kind of put on the back burner, and her sentences become more flowery and flowy and descriptive. And then when the grief kind of comes rolling back in, it gets a little more staccato again. And it's so beautiful that I am very impressed with Rebecca Searle's writing right now. I love books that explore grief. I haven't experienced a ton of grief in my life, and so it's very interesting, very sad, but very interesting for me to read books about it and to explore that part of the human experience. Anyway, that being said, I will check in with you tomorrow. Good morning. It is almost 9 o'clock, so we are going to get ready to start my hour of reading One Italian Summer this morning. I'm exhausted. It was so hard for me to fall asleep last night, but it's fine. Anyway, I'm hanging out in my reading room. It is a mess because I've been recording in here, but we're going to ignore that fact. And I'm going to read for an hour, and we'll see how far we can get today. And I'll check in with you when I'm done. All right, I made it to page 186. I definitely am reading a little bit slower this morning. Another book that I read this year was called The Two Lives of Lydia Bird by Josie Silver, I believe. And it gives very similar vibes to this. It's a story of grief and magical realism helping through grief. It's a beautiful way of discussing and respecting grief in a way. I wouldn't say that the writing is very immersive. Like, I feel like we're definitely in like Katie's mind and we can see what she's thinking and things, but like I talked about before, the syntax of the writing, definitely leads to, or like symbolizes what's going on with her grief at the time. And so a lot of the time there's not room for flowery descriptions of the setting, but the setting is so immersive, and I'm not sure how the author did that. But I've said this before too, I'm very impressed. I'm glad that I'm physically reading this book. I was going to listen to it, and then I just decided to pick up the book. And I'm really glad that I just picked it up because it is very cool to watch all the literary elements working together to make this novel. I definitely will be reading this book again and annotating it. I love rereading books. I had an English teacher tell me once that the best books were written to be read twice. I am having a phenomenal time. I am going to set it down for today and probably pick up Crown of Midnights for that reading vlog. It is officially Saturday. It is almost 3:15. You guys know all my thoughts and everything currently about the book. I'm really excited to finish this book. I've really, really enjoyed it. I'm thinking currently it's giving 4.5, but depending on the ending, it could definitely push it to a 5-star depending on how the ending goes. So we'll kind of see how that goes. But with all that being said, it's 3:12, so we'll stop at 4:12. But because I just don't want to wait, I'm just gonna get started reading. So I will check in when I'm done. with One Italian Summer by Rebecca Searle. It is 4 o'clock and I just finished One Italian Summer by Rebecca Searle. I'm going to rate this book 4.75 stars. I really enjoyed this book. The writing is phenomenal. Rebecca Searle put a lot of time and energy into this book, and you can tell that she is a professional at what she does. Very well written. There are so many literary elements that are so expertly used to craft this book. The two main twists in this book caught me by surprise completely. I want to sit with it before I give my final rating. When you see my end of year videos or maybe even my monthly wrap up, you may see that I bumped this one up to a 5-star. It's not quite feeling 5-star right now, but I just want to sit with it for a minute. And if it sticks with me, we'll bump it up to the 5, but I'm just thinking 4.75 right now. I am so glad I read this book and finally made myself just read it. There is some explicit content in this book. It's not written in a way that, it's not written for pleasure. It's not written to be spice. This is, I would consider this probably a women's fiction, magical realism. So this book is not written. This is like a literary fiction book. And so the things that happen in this book are to explore the human experience and explore how people handle grief. This book is not spicy, it's not smut, it's not whatever. But if you don't like reading about explicit content, just a heads up about this one. I did not know that going into it, but it wasn't anything, it didn't really bother me. It wasn't anything that I was like, oh, I should skip this or I shouldn't read it. I highly suggest this book. This will be a book that I talk about for a very long time. This book and The Two Lives of Lydia Bird are two books that I read this year that have made me realize I love stories of grief and magical realism. So if you have not read either of those books, I'll put the cover of The Two Lives of Lydia Bird up here. If you've not read either of these two books, you need to. They are phenomenal reads. I listened to The Two Lives of Lydia Bird and then I physically read this one. And welcome back. I hope you had a great journey with me. We had lots of wild rides. Just to kind of wrap everything up, I did end up rating Scepter of Fire 3.25 stars. Really the only thing that I disliked about this book is I wish it was longer. There's a lot of stuff in this book that I really enjoyed. I just wanted to get more into. And also it's just a product of the time I'm reading it, the reading slump, then trying to get into it again and then forcing myself to read it. This one was a little bit of a struggle. But still overall a very fun series. I would still recommend, and I cannot wait to read the rest of C.F.U. Black's books. Then the other book we read was One Italian Summer by Rebecca Searle. I talked about letting this one sit and potentially giving it a 5-star. I think it is going to stay at a 4.75. I loved it. It just didn't quite have that 5-star feeling for me. Pretty good rating vlog with a 3.25 and a 4.75 rated book. I had so much fun recording this video. I definitely will be doing a video like this again for some of my other books that I've been avoiding. If you like my content and you'd like to stick around, or if you see any books that you'd like to see me read, make sure you like, subscribe, all of the things. Comment a lemon emoji to let me know that you're still here. Also, looking forward a little bit, the next video that will be coming out is my first Throne of Glass reading vlog. So it'll include Assassin's Blade, Throne of Glass, and Crown of Midnights in a full spoiler vlog style. I've been loving making that vlog. So if you'd like to check that out, make sure you have your notifications on so you can come back on Friday to see that one. And all that being said, I hope you have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.